Okay, welcome and thank you for coming tonight. This is the Town Promotion Committee, Wednesday the 10th of April. I don't have any apologies in advance. Does anyone have any apologies? No. Do you have any declarations of interest? No. So item 3, to approve the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Town Promotion Committee held on the 24th of January 2024 and to approve the minutes of the extraordinary meeting of the Town Promotion Committee held on the 12th of March as a true record. Propose any seconders? Thank you. You've got those? All agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. In which case I can go straight into the next item, which is the town promotion update. Now, Rebecca has done a fairly comprehensive report covering all of the areas that she's working on. I think, does anyone have any questions? Is there any
comment, Chair, if I may? May I say, I just love the Ravens, and I think the comment and comments that's come back, and what I've seen on social media, I think people are quite enjoying it, trying to spot them and coming up to the fields. I just think it's great. I love it, and thank you very much for our town centre and tourism plan for carrying that.
Yes. And any other comments or questions on them?
I would just like to praise the Youth Culture Consortium, who were inspired by our projects to do the Ravens and the sculptures and then get all the young community groups involved in designing them. So they've done a brilliant job.
Indeed.
Right. Then the main thing that I actually wanted to ask, I did ask Rebecca to come prepared on, is at the end, before we look at the photographs. So the recommendation is that we note the above information. Before we actually do that, I did ask Rebecca to come along with the leaflets, or the prototypes of the leaflets that are being prepared. So the last item before recommendations is the What's On leaflet update, and just to have a look so we could see what they're going to be looking like. So what have you got?
So these are hot off the press. These are the he could only do 4 because it takes 5 working days normally. Thanks. But this is to complement the new wayfinding signs and the other Raven items. So it's a map helping people from Ramsgate Station, as we know is a mile from the harbour, to the beach. So taking them, and there's an accessible route on there as well. It also highlights local attractions, amenities, so it helps them to find parking, hotels, supermarkets as well, toilets. And it's also, we've put the Youth Cultural Consortium's Raven sculptures on there as well. So there's very much a Raven theme, but we've also just put a little bit of an explanation as to the origins of Rami the Raven, because we've done a few projects around this with children as well over the last year. And the little piece of black and white illustration you see, which is on the back cover, that's going to be part of the subway art, which explains how our name's changed over the centuries, to give people some reference to that sort of factor. I've even mentioned the Rams, so these people that love the Ram jumping off the gate.
This is going to print.
They went to print today. There was just a slight change this morning, so we'll have them next week.
Okay. And there was any questions on these?
No.
Just thought it's nice for everyone to actually have their hands on something real instead of imagining them. And there's another one, isn't there?
Yeah, we're going for the uncoated version, which is sort of, it lends itself to the sort of retro feel. And also it's quite on trend at the moment to use uncoated. And then similarly, last year we did a What's On 2023. This year, I may have to print two of them, but this has been printed on my printer, so the colours haven't come out very well, but we're trying to sort of complement the two front covers. And this will have events listing up until the end of August, is probably all we're managing this first copy. And that will come out of our VIC budget. I'm going to do another one. So what we're doing, because there are quite a few events from September to March, so we will do another one, even if it hasn't got quite as full a diary, it will still have quite a lot of nice listings. Yeah, and all the Heritage Open Days and all of those things. So there's quite a lot happening towards the end of the year, but it's just, we've now till the end of August, I've already got 120 listings. So to fit it into basically the same size as this, it's going to be a challenge.
Thank you.
Right, okay. Any other questions on any of the other ones there? No, in that case, thank you. Moving on to the Access Friendly sticker campaign, which you should have received in your pack, which is actually from Councillor Austin. So, sorry, I should have actually said, did we actually agree to note, the recommendation was to note the report, so, and we all agree, thank you, yes. Technicality, we've done it. So the recommendations for this are to approve the use of the Ramsgate coat of arms for this project and to fund and assist with the distribution of the stickers. So has everyone had a chance to have a look at it, and any comments or questions? And is there anything you would like to say, Councillor Austin?
Just that it's part of a number of initiatives that the Access Ramsgate group have been trying to move forward to make Ramsgate a more accessible place. It obviously links in with a number of things that Rebecca's been working on and the rest of us. And that the group is largely led locally by Laura Probert, who many people know, who's
I've seen contacts with her.
And it's a tricky group to run, I think, because of the fact that members are older and unwell, and therefore meetings and things like that are difficult, but they've got quite a lot of support behind this. And there's obviously a number of issues that we deal with as ward councillors, like pavement parking and so on, that particularly adversely affect this group. So I think anything that we can do as a town council to show our support is a good idea, and I'm hoping that if we approve this and the council decides that it's behind this, we as ward councillors, particularly those with seafront wards, can use our links along with Rebecca's links to talk to businesses. Mike Willis, who has designed this sticker, this is the 17th prototype, but it'll be something like this with our logo on if we're happy. Is also putting together a checklist of the kinds of things we might want to discuss with the hospitality owner if we're the person who's talking to them. So I think a combination of us and the Access Ramsgate members talking to different businesses could be a really useful way to raise awareness. And sometimes it's simple things like, we've got a ramp because our building isn't easily accessible, but we haven't told the new guy who's just started, who's here for the summer, that we've got a ramp, and so he doesn't know when we come in, or those kinds of things that can hopefully be quite easily addressed.
Right.
I just think it's long overdue, to be quite honest, and I don't think it should just be for the town centre. I think we've got other areas,
yes,
with shops within Ramsgate that this could be called upon to use. The only thing that I would say in relation to the sticker is for it to be supported by Ramsgate Town Council. I haven't got a problem with the logo being used, but I think it should say supported by Ramsgate Town Council.
Good.
But apart from that, I think it's a great initiative, and it's just a shame that our pavements, etc., are in such a state, half of them, that it's difficult for people with wheelchairs, and unfortunately that's in Kent County Council's hands, and the likelihood of Kent County Council actually spending any money in Ramsgate is loads. But on the whole, Chair, I'd fully support it, apart from that couple of bits.
So, we can add that into the recommendations of everyone else's agreement, so it's to approve the use of Ramsgate coat of arms for this project. It's actually only the coat of arms we're approving. So perhaps I can ask you, Councillor Austin, to take back
That suggestion, yes, I'm sure they'll be absolutely.
the wording is not part of our recommendation, but the coat of arms. So
I'm sure they'll be entirely.
No, but I think, Chair, sorry, but I do think, it's no just good having the logo, the coat of arms on. I think we should have the wording, but I just think it should be supported by Ramsgate.
That's fine, I'm sure they'll be happy.
Is there a copyright in the coat of arms? Do we own it? Because there's different variations, isn't there?
Is there? I don't know.
Yeah, I just wonder, this particular one is
I'm
related.
getting the nod from over this side, so. Yeah.
I'm sure we do.
Councillor Huxley?
Supervisor, why is entrance in blue?
I think that's part of the fact that this is still a draft, but let's ask Councillor Austin.
I suppose I've just had another one now, which has got access Ramsgate, we've got the access thing highlighted in green, so there'll be various different variations, and we'll bring something back that's the final version.
That's why I'm not,
Tweaking it.
that's why I'm not asking this committee to approve the exact wording, because that is still part of the draft, but
But it's about.
Councillor Austin will take that away. All we can approve here is the use of the coat of arms for the project, because it is still in draft, and I think,
We'll bring the
final version will come back, yeah. And the second part is to fund and assist with the distribution of the stickers. We've got an initial budget of £200.
They're not expensive. A batch of, I can't remember how many, but a batch of a significant number of stickers was £100. So it will not be an expensive initiative financially.
So can I have a proposer and a seconder for the recommendations? And seconder? Yeah. All agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, that's that one done. So that's the end of item 4. Item 5, active Ramsgate update to receive and note the minutes from the previous active Ramsgate meetings, which was on the 12th of March. Proposer?
Sorry, we just done item 5, we're on item 6, yes?
Yeah. I didn't mention item 5 properly in the middle, but yeah. So we're going to receive and note those minutes.
Propose that, Chair.
Thank you.
Actually, I wasn't here, sorry.
So criticism and Huxley in terms of councillors.
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't.
So yes, it's just the two of us that can do it. All right, and then the last bit under this item 6 is to receive an update from Mr. Davis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've got the report there, which I won't go through in detail, but just to flag a couple of things under each. The market research, I mentioned last time, is completed. You've got the full, quite weighty document. I really recommend looking at the summary of findings section in the first 6 pages to get a good overview. But if you have any questions in time, please do come to me. I'm happy to answer any. We've talked quite a lot with the researcher to get to the bottom of a few questions that we had when we sort of passed it the first time. But also just to say, there is a lot in there, and we think it's a really worthwhile investment because it goes into a lot of detail, into ways that we can target people in the future and really tie active Ramsgate activities to other things we can offer from the town. And it also really gives us the evidence base for what we're trying to do to refocus some of the themes within Active Ramsgate, really come back to some of the basics of walking and cycling, which come up time and again as some of the most popular activities, and trying to use certain activities to capture certain groups, the interests of certain groups, like water sports generally, or the younger demographics we're looking at. Similarly, what we're calling sort of exploring activities for families as well. There's lots in there, but like I say, if you've got questions down the line, I'm more than willing to answer questions any which way.
So is there any questions so far on that bit?
But I just asked Simon just to give us just basically full explanation when the recommendation is members are asked to approve the beach hut.
Oh, so we're coming to that bit next.
Oh, okay.
I just interrupted him just so that we could finish off the that bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Literally just this.
Yeah, sorry, just the research first. But if there's any questions on that right now.
okay.
On promotional materials, again, I won't go through what's already here, but just to flag that you have in the appendix some early examples of what they will look like. We have some updated examples here, not least with different covers. The contents of these leaflets will be the same. We're looking at doing 3 different covers to hit different target audiences. And so you have some examples in your appendix. There are earlier ones. There are some newer ones here I can share if you're interested, as well as the full contents of the leaflet if you want to see.
I'm actually going to hold those on to the next item, 7.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If that's all right with you.
Yeah, yeah. Also to mention on promotional materials, we had the printing costs agreed and vied over. We were held up somewhat for reasons we will get into later in the agenda. I also just want to flag, we also have distribution costs. Now that we have the final format agreed, we've got a quote on that comes to over £3,000, just over, which means we do need approval at council level.
And distribute where from us?
So London and the South East, primarily. I can go into the detail of it with you directly if you want.
Are we talking about train stations? Are we talking visitor centres? What are we talking?
Train stations included, visitor centres, supermarkets, motorway stations, different areas to capture both people travelling in this direction already, but also trying to capture our specific target groups, so being sort of savvy about that and using the 3 different covers. But yes, I can share with you the network selection, as it were, which builds on what has been done in the past, but extends it more into London, because at the previously relative, right on the edge of London, so we're taking it more centrally as well, because we're trying to reach younger Londoners as part of our.
Chair, could I ask for any of that sort of information to be sent on to all councillors? Because although we decide things in this meeting, I appreciate, when it comes to something like a full council meeting or FNGP where we decided monies and so on and so forth, people's complaint last time was that they didn't have the information, and so therefore it would stop that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If everybody knew about it, they don't have to come to this meeting. Obviously, we can decide this.
I watched the meeting online, and I'm very aware of the questions that were raised. That's why we've got the next item, which is the closed item, which is to explain or to provide the background that wasn't possible to provide on that occasion.
I'm worried about that now. I'm looking forward. Could we have any information sent out to all councillors? It's just because they don't necessarily have to come to this meeting for it to be quorate. And obviously they can choose to come if they want to. In terms of council business, it is every councillor's interest to know something like this. So all that information should be sent out to councillors.
The reason this is coming up under the next item is because this has been a changing dynamic. And some of that information hasn't been available.
Yeah, but I'm just saying from now on, my whole point is anything that can be sent out, not just to us, to all councillors.
I think, Dean, if I can check, everything that is sent out to all councillors, isn't it? Not just to members of the committee?
All of the Active Ramsgate Working Group documents are sent to all of the council.
Good, that's super.
Yeah, they're all.
It is already sent out. It's just that particular situation at that full council was because of the changing dynamic.
I'm asking for future things, that's why
It's
brilliant, thank you.
already sent.
Yeah, cheers.
And on this specific one, I'll just to say, because we need that extra approval for that spend, I've already alerted that to Lord Town Clerk for inclusion in next time council. It will be go to town council anyway, hopefully.
Yeah,
So with their agreement. So on this specific one, it will definitely.
yeah, certainly, appreciate that.
So that was just on the promotional materials at large. The other thing in terms of the updates, I think that was it actually. There was extra things until we get to item 7.
Right, so the next part is the Active Ramsgate Beach Hut then. Oh, Active Ramsgate Week, sorry, I jumped down.
Yes, just
Anything to
that's
add to that?
nothing to add to this report here. It continues. We are trying to nail a lot of that detail down with some moving parts, which we will come to. Sorry for being so cryptic.
And I just, before I just come in with Councillor Orban, again, some of the reasons that we're still trying to nail it down is because of what's going to come up in the next item. Councillor Orban.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Tom for the comprehensive report and the survey and everything. I think that's really interesting. And are we dealing with the beach hut now, or
Yes.
is it going on to the beach hut? Or have I been on to the beach hut?
Is there any additional comments or questions about Active Ramsgate Week? No.
That sounds like the one.
Yeah.
The beach hut, again, you put the proposal there that we shared. It's moving quite quickly with TDC, which is great. Still some things to move forward with there, but generally in a good place.
So, Chair, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, I think I've previously had discussions to this, and I fully support this. I think it'd be great to get out on the beachfront, on the prom, and for both residents and visitors alike to see that we've got active Ramsgate community beach hut. I just think it would be great to get Ramsgate Town Council on the beach hut somewhere. I think that would be great. So whoever's coming by will know it's us.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. That's a great thing as long as we can get man or woman or whatever,
Person.
whatever gender, and to get it gendered.
Did we have a conclusion on whether it's going to stay in the same position or be moved onto the sand?
In our working group, we said trialling it
Try
pretty
it.
much where it is.
Yeah,
And then if we
that's
felt
not changed, has
required,
it? Yeah, no. So it will.
Good idea, Chair, in my
Well, I didn't think it was a good idea, which is why we're trialling it on the concrete first. That was my view, but not everyone agreed with me.
Belgium sometime or other.
Yeah, I just think it's worth mentioning because we did have some discussion about that in the working group, and there was a lot of discussion about the pros and cons of actually moving it onto the sand or leaving it on the concrete.
Right.
And as Simon has just said, the conclusion was that we
have a rating on top of it.
you can model it if you like.
Have a rating on top of it.
All right. Any other questions? No? Okay. In that case, the recommendations are to approve the beach hut proposal as well as to note the rest of the report. All agree? Yeah, all agreed? Right. Thank you. Okay. In that case, we are moving on to item 7. So,
do you want me to read the thing? Yeah.
yes, that's the wrong
Yep.
bit. I need the
Yeah, I can read that out. So
Thank you.
it's recommended that under the Public Bodies Act 1960, as extended by Section 100 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and accredited representatives of newspapers be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve commercially sensitive information as defined in Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972 by virtue of paragraphs specified against the item. Need a proposer and a seconder.
Seconder. All agree?